Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. You can read about the title. We will be reading Dork, Diaries, Tales from a Not-So-Talented Pop Star, Book 3, Part 1 of 3. If you go to enjoy, subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications. When I read Book 2, the last part 3 of 3, came out January 7, 2021. It is now March 29th of 2021, and this probably won't be posted until April 1st. Almost 3 months ago, I read some Dork Diaries. Without any further ado, subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. Let's do this. Dork Diaries, Tales from a Not-So-Talented Pop Star by Rachel Renee Russell. #1 New York Times bestselling series, 548729, 548729. By the way, I did not show pictures in my diary. In movie kid readings I do, but in my Dork Diary readings I don't. This diary belongs to Nikki J. Maxwell, private and confidential. If found, please return to me for reward. No snooping allowed. Also by Rachel Renee Russell. Dork Diaries, Tales from a Not-So-Fabulous Life. Dork Diaries 2, Tales from a Not-So-Popular Party Girl. Dork Diaries 3.5, How to Dork Your Diary. Dork Diaries 4, Tales from a Not-So-Graceful Ice Princess. Dork Diaries 5, Tales from a Not-So-Smart Miss Know-It-All. Dork Diaries 6, Tales from a Not-So-Happy Heartbreaker. Dork Diaries OMG All About Me Diary. Dork Diaries 7, Tales from a Not-So-Glam TV Star. Dork Diaries 8, Tales from a Not-So-Happily Ever After. Dork Diaries 9, Tales from a Not-So-Dorky Drama Queen. Dork Diaries 10, Tales from a Not-So-Perfect Pet Sitter. Dork Diaries 11, Tales from a Not-So-Friendly Frenemy. Introducing The Misadventures of Max Crumbly. Rachel Renee Russell, Dork Diaries, Tales from a Not-So-Talented Pop Star, 548729, 548729. Aladdin, New York, London, Toronto, Sydney, New Delhi. To my grandma, Lily Grimmett, happy 90th birthday. Thank you for a childhood stocked with a never-ending supply of pencils, paper, hugs, and dreams. Acknowledgements. To all my Dork Diaries fans, thank you for loving this book series as much as I do. Wow. A reaction on Book 3 already? Always remember to let your inner dork shine through. Lisa Abrams, my wonderful editor, who mysteriously seems to know Nikki Maxwell even better than I do. Thank you for making the countless hours we spend working on these books such a blast. And yes, all this happened just like you said it would. Go back, girl. Lisa Vega, my magical art director, who never ceases to amaze me when she takes a single yellow sticky note and 2 simple colors and abracadabra turns it into a fabulous cover that practically flies off the shelves. Mara, Anna, Stas, Bethany Buck, Paul Crichton, Caroline Swerdloff, Matt Pantoliano, Catherine Devendorf, and the rest of my awesome team at Aladdin/Simon and Schuster. Thank you for all your hard work on this series. Bro, these last names are crazy. Danielle Lazar, my super agent at Writer's House, thank you for being there for me every step of the way. I could not have chosen a better partner in crime, and a special thanks to Stephen Barr for always making me smile. Maja Nikolic, Cecilia De La Campa, and Ank Harad Cowell, my foreign rights agents at Writer's House. Thank you for taking Dork Diaries around the world. Nikki Russell, my daughter and talented assistant artist, I cannot begin to thank you for all that you do. I am blessed to be sharing this stream with you. Cindy James, Corey James, Presley James, Ariana Robinson, and Michaela Robinson, my nieces, for being brutal critique partners and willing to work for a double cheese, double sausage pizza. Friday, November 1st. OMG, I think yesterday was probably the best day of my entire life. Not only did I have a fantastic time at a Halloween dance with my crush Brandon, but I think he might actually like me. Squee! By like, I mean as a really good friend. Definitely not as a serious girlfriend or anything. I'm sure that would never happen in a million years. Why? Mostly because I'm the biggest dork in the entire school. And with 3 zits, 2 left feet, 1 cruddy social life, and 0 popularity, I'm not exactly the type of girl who will one day be crowned prom queen. But thanks to my wicked case of crush-itis, the slightly goofy, blissfully lovesick, shabby chick style I'm currently rocking would definitely put me in the running for Princess of the Dorks. It's just that I'm not a tag hag, also known as a totally obsessed fashion snob, and I'm not hopelessly addicted to spending twice the gross national product of a small third world country on the latest designer clothes, shoes, jewelry, and handbags, only to refuse to wear the stuff 1 month later because it's like, OMG, practically more ancient than yesterday. Unlike some people I know, people being shallow, self-centered girls like Mackenzie Hollister. Calling Mackenzie a mean girl is an understatement. She's a rattlesnake in pink plumping lip gloss and ankle boots. But I'm not intimidated by her or anything. Like, how juvenile would that be? I constantly wonder how girls like Mackenzie always manage to be so, I don't know, perfect. I wish I had something that could magically transform me into my perfect self. I constantly wonder how girls like Mackenzie always manage to be so, I don't know, perfect. I wish I had something that could magically transform me into my perfect self. It would have the amazing power of Cinderella's fairy godmother. It'd be easy to use and be small enough to fit inside a purse or backpack. Something like, I don't know, maybe Maxwell's Enchanted Lip Gloss. My special lip gloss would make each and every girl look as beautiful on the outside as she is on the inside. How cool would that be? Average nice girl like me, before Enchanted Lip Gloss, we see a normal girl. After Enchanted Lip Gloss, we naturally see my inner beauty. Average mean girl like Mackenzie, before Enchanted Lip Gloss, we see a popular girl in designer clothing. After Enchanted Lip Gloss, we naturally see her inner beauty. After spending hours studying the potential global impact of the Enchanted Lip Gloss phenomenon, I was shocked and amazed by my scientific findings. Enchanted Lip Gloss does not look cute on everyone. Too bad, Mackenzie. Anyway, I really hope Brandon calls me today. I would totally freak if he actually did, but I'm pretty sure he probably won't. Which BTW brings me to this very important question. How are you supposed to know when a guy actually likes you if he never bothers to call? Crush IQ test. Carefully examine the following two pictures for 60 seconds. Can you spot the difference between them? Q crush who actually likes you. Crush. Q crush who doesn't like you. Crush. Answer. There is no difference. These two dudes are identical, which unfortunately means your crush basically ignores you whether he actually likes you or not. Arg! That was me tearing my hair out in frustration. Lucky for me, my BFF Chloe is an expert on guys and romance. She learned everything she knows from reading all the latest teen magazines and novels. And my BFF Zoe is a human Wikipedia and a self-help guru. She's basically a 14-year-old Dr. Phil in lip gloss and hoop earrings. The three of us are going to meet at the mall tomorrow to shop for jeans. I can't wait to talk to them about all this guy stuff because seriously, I don't have a clue. Saturday, November 2nd. Can someone please tell me why my life is so horrifically pathetic? Even when something finally goes right, something else always goes terribly wrong. My mom was supposed to be taking me to the mall today to hang out with Chloe and Zoe, so I was totally bummed when she told me I had to watch my bratty little 6-year-old sister Brianna for 45 minutes while she shopped for a new toaster. In spite of her cute little angelic face and pink sneakers, Brianna is actually a baby Tyrannosaurus Rex on steroids. There was no way I was going to hang out with my BFFs with her tagging along. So I told Chloe and Zoe I'd try to meet up with them as soon as my mom finished shopping. I found a quiet, comfortable spot to chillax with my diary. Then I ordered Brianna to park her little butt right beside me on the bench and not move. Me watching Brianna, sort of. I hadn't taken my eyes off Brianna for more than a minute or two or 5 when I discovered she climbed into the mall fountain to hunt for coins. Thank goodness that water was really shallow. Then I made the mistake of asking Brianna what the heck she was doing in that fountain. She put her hands on her hips and glared at me impatiently. Can't you see it's an emergency? A mean old witch has kidnapped Princess Sugarplum, and Miss Penelope needs to get this money out of the water so we can buy a real live baby unicorn from the grocery store and fly to save the princess. Hey, you ask a silly question, you get a silly answer. I dragged her out of the fountain and made her toss back the big pile of coins she'd gathered. Of course, Brianna was super mad at me for ruining her little treasure hunt. So to distract her, I suggested we take a little stroll through the food court to try to find some free fruit samples to snack on. Yummy. That's when Brianna started nagging me to take her to her favorite kitty pizza joint, Queasy Cheesy. I don't have the slightest idea why little kids love that place so much. It has these huge stuffed robotic animals that dance and sing off-key. Personally, I think it's super creepy the way their eyes roll around in their heads and their mouths are always out of sync with their voices. Maybe it's just me, but who would actually want to eat in a restaurant that has a 6-foot-tall, mangy-looking rat scampering around? I don't care that it sings happy birthday and gives out free balloons. To me, the only thing scarier there was that evil clown who used to live under my bed when I was really little. My parents always insisted he was just a figment of my imagination, but he was very real to me. The imaginary evil clown who lived under my bed. Boo! OMG, I was absolutely terrified. He'd grab my ankles and pull me under my bed, and I'd be stuck there for like eternity. Thank goodness I'm older and more mature, not scared of silly childish stuff like evil clowns. Except maybe during thunderstorms on really dark nights when I see these strange shadows. Anyway, I was like, sorry Brianna, I don't have any money. We'll have to wait until Mom gets back. But I can pay for Brianna wine with my baby unicorn money from the magical fountain. I'm a rich people practically. I want to go to Queasy Cheesy now. That's when I noticed that all of Brianna's pockets were stuffed with coins from that fountain. My little sister wasn't a rich people practically, but she did have enough loose change to buy us a medium sausage pizza with drinks. Woohoo! Queasy Cheesy. The pizza was actually pretty good, for queasy cheesy anyway. Just as we were finishing up on our meal, a waitress pulled a random number out of a bowl and excitedly announced that the guests at table 7 were the Lucky Ducks. She'd selected to come up on stage and sing the I Love Queasy Cheesy theme song. I was like, oh crud, Brianna and I were sitting at table 7. There was just no way I was going up on that stage in front of all those people to sing that stupid song, and I made that fact very clear to the nice waitress lady. Of course, that's when Brianna got an attitude about the whole thing. She actually threw a hissy fit right there in the restaurant, and get this, refused to pay for our food. OMG, I've never been so embarrassed in my life. I totally panicked because all I had in my pocket was 39 cents and some lint. Money? Well, you're not going to believe this. Money? Well, you're not going to believe this. But the super scary part was that Brianna's silly little prank was going to land us both in jail. And yes, I'm aware that doing prison time is the latest fad for all those spoiled young celebs. You know the type. The infamous party girl model you know the type. The infamous party girl / model / actress who managed to become both an icon and an ex-con before her 21st birthday. She truly believes she's above the law because, in her little mind, the only real crimes against humanity are 1, fake designer purses, 2, frenemies, 3, people with visible ear and nose hairs. So out of sheer desperation, I did what I had to. Namely, perform the I Love Queasy Cheesy song with Brianna so she would pay for our meal. Thank goodness the people there were mostly parents and little kids. I didn't see anyone I knew from my school. Once we took the stage and I'd gotten past my feelings of extreme embarrassment and mild nausea, which is probably why they called the place Queasy Cheesy, I had to admit the whole experience was actually kind of fun. The crowd seemed to love us, so Brianna and I really hammed it up. We were getting down with a few Beyonce dance moves, and the audience was cheering us on. Then the most awful and shocking thing happened. Gulp. Mackenzie Hollister. Apparently, she just arrived with her little sister Amanda and her BFF Jessica. Jessica was pointing and laughing at me like I was the biggest joke since the interrupting cow, and I totally freaked when I realized Mackenzie had her cell phone out and seemed to be taking a picture or something. I grabbed Brianna and practically carried her off the stage. "No, let go of me!" Brianna screamed. "The song isn't even over yet. We have to throw kisses to the crowd, and Brianna, it's time to go." I huffed, still out of breath. Mom is probably waiting for us back at the fountain. But before we made it to the door, Amanda rushed over and shoved a pen and napkin into Brianna's hand. "I've never met a real live pop star before. Can I have your autograph?" she gushed. Brianna beamed. "Sure, you can have it for free. And I'll draw a picture of my real live baby unicorn too. I can ride him if I want. He flies in the air." To Amanda, "I love you, Brianna." Amanda's eyes widened to the size of saucers. "You have a real baby unicorn? Can I see it?" I could not believe Brianna was lying like that. I gave her a dirty look and she stuck her tongue out at me. "Well, I don't have one just yet, but I'm going to buy it from the grocery store as soon as my mom comes back with our new toaster. Because guess what? Some idiot poured orange juice in our old one and it exploded and blew up our house. Kaboom. "Brianna," I scolded, "and move it right now." Actually, I was just trying to get out of there before Mackenzie came over. But no such luck. "OMG, Nikki, you were hilarious," Mackenzie shrieked. "You stank worse than the boys' locker room." "Yeah, it took a lot of guts to get up there and humiliate yourself in front of the entire world like that," Jessica snorted. I just rolled my eyes at both of them. I knew I wasn't a professional singer or dancer, but the crowd seemed to like us. And since when are Mackenzie and Jessica became experts on talent? "Oh, please, you too would have recognized talent if it came up wearing a name tag, introduced itself, and slapped your face," I blurted out. Mackenzie and Jessica just glared at me. I think they were probably a little surprised because I usually just ignore them or say stuff inside my head that no one else can hear but me. But there's only so much verbal abuse a person can take. And besides, I continued, there aren't more than 50 people in here. I wouldn't call that the entire world. "Well, it will be when I post this on YouTube," Mackenzie said, sneering as she waved her camera right on my face. "Nikki Maxwell, life at Queasy Cheesy, and you can thank me for launching your career as a not-so-talented pop star." Title. Then Mackenzie and Jessica both laughed hysterically at her witty little joke. I just stood there stunned. When Mackenzie actually did that to me, something so sinister and so vile, suddenly my stomach felt really sick again and started making gurgling sounds like that angry chocolate fountain at Mackenzie's party. Only it felt like I had just eaten a dirty gym sock and then washed it down with a large glass of room temperature pickle juice. If I didn't get out of there fast, Mackenzie and Jessica were going to have a second video to post on YouTube. One of me barfing stale pizza and watered down fruit punch all over their $300 designer jeans. When we finally met up with Mom, she was surprised I was so anxious to go home. I just told her I didn't feel so well and I had decided not to go shopping with Chloe and Zoe after all. So now I'm in my bedroom writing about all this and trying not to freak out because when Mackenzie posts that Queasy Cheesy video on YouTube, OMG, somebody please dial 911 because I'm going to have a massive heart attack and die. Sunday, November 3rd. I was so depressed about what happened to Queasy Cheesy yesterday, I could barely drag myself out of bed this morning. So I figured, why bother? I decided to just lie there staring at the wall and sulking. For some reason, wallowing in a truckload of self-pity always makes me feel a lot better. I finally got up around noon and spent the rest of the day online checking YouTube. I was on there practically every 10 minutes. I couldn't help it. It was like I was obsessed or something. I was hoping Mackenzie had just been yanking my chain about posting that video. She absolutely loved to torture me like that. 2 p.m., nothing. 5 p.m., nothing. 8 p.m., nothing. Sigh. By 8:30 p.m., I'd come to the conclusion that the whole thing was just a nasty prank to freak me out. And it had. Mackenzie is meaner than a junkyard dog and totally despises me. But thank goodness she hadn't gone that far. I decided to check one last time before I went to bed and then forgot about the whole thing. 9 p.m. No! It was official. Nikki Maxwell live to Queasy Cheesy was now on YouTube for the world's viewing pleasure. And it had already gotten 7 views. I was devastated. There was only one thing left for me to do. Ah! That was me screaming into my pillow. How am I going to face the kids at my school knowing they're all secretly laughing at me behind my back? And what about Chloe, Zoe, and Brandon? They're the greatest friends ever. I cringed at the thought of putting them through more of the drama fest that is my life. I kept repeating one thing over and over in my head. Why me? Monday, November 4th. There was no way I was going to go... Monday, November 4th. There was no way I was going to go to school today to face my public execution by video. So I got up extra early to make a dash of my infamous staying from school fox vomit. Unfortunately, that was not an option because we were totally out of oatmeal. I was, just great. When I finally arrived at school, I was expecting to be mercilessly teased, peppered with insults, and bombarded with a never-ending supply of very lame, queasy, cheesy jokes. But to my surprise, no one even mentioned that stupid video. Thank goodness. Instead, the entire school was super excited about and buzzing about the upcoming annual Westchester Country Day talent show. It's scheduled for Saturday, November 30th, and the judge this year is Trevor Chase, the famous producer of the new hit TV show 15 Minutes of Fame. Turns out he went to WCD. The prize was supposed to be pretty good too, with first place being the chance to audition for a spot on his television show. How cool is that? So now Chloe, Zoe, and I are totally psyched about the talent show. We've already agreed to perform together. We just have to figure out what we're going to do. It's going to be a blast for sure. I'd give anything to be a rich and famous singing sensation. Why? Because when Nikki Maxwell, the WCD student, is weird, rude, and sloppy and crazy, everyone hates her. She's called a loser. Me, as a not-so-talented WCD loser. My hot dog is so groovy. Ick. Burp. Phew. Gross. However, when Nikki Maxwell, the pop star, is weird, rude, sloppy, and crazy, she gets mobbed by fans, paid millions of dollars, and everyone loves her. She's called a legend. Me is a not-so-talented pop princess legend. My hot dog is so groovy. Burp. But hold the mustard, please, because I'd rather have my hot dog with peanut butter and cheese. We love you. Anyway, I saw Brandon in biology today. Squee! Well, actually, I see Brandon in biology every day, but today was super special because it was the first time I've seen him since the dance. He told me again how much he enjoyed hanging out with me. Squee! And get this, he said we should consider sitting together at lunch to study for our future biology tests. I blushed profusely and suggested that we start studying for the next test ASAP, like tomorrow. Mostly because I'm very serious about my studies, especially my biology tests. Me studiously studying for all my classes at the same time. But Brandon said he couldn't sit with me at lunch for the next couple weeks because his editor has assigned him to train a new photographer for the school newspaper. I smiled at him and was like, okay, sure. But deep down inside, I was a little disappointed. I started worrying that maybe he was just making up a lame excuse because he didn't want to hang out with me after all. So I decided to talk to Chloe and Zoe about it. Chloe said for me not to worry because Brandon was the one who came up with the whole sitting together at lunch thing, which meant he was ready to take our relationship to the next level. And Zoe totally agreed. Squee! OMG, I almost forgot. Now I have one more thing to lie awake nights. OMG, I almost forgot. Now I have one more thing to lie awake nights worrying about. There were at least a dozen ants crawling around in biology today. Mackenzie made a big fuss about getting ant charms until our teacher told her that if she didn't sit down and finish her lab report, her grade was going to be a lot nastier than any ant charms. But what if the problem gets worse? This could turn into a major disaster. My teacher could complain to the janitor could complain to the secretary could complain to the principal, and the principal could complain to my dad, the school exterminator. Must not panic. Breathe in, breathe out. Anyway, before I so rudely interrupted myself, I was about to say that Chloe and Zoe think Brandon might actually like me, and those little ants seem to think so too. Tuesday, November 5th. Mackenzie is even more evil than I imagined. I was wondering why she had gone through the trouble of recording that video of me as Queasy Cheesy and posting it on YouTube, only to keep it a big secret. It made no sense whatsoever. But now I know why she did it. I was at my locker jotting down ideas for the talent show, and I was really interrupted. "What's up, Nikki? I've got some super exciting news to tell you, hon." I cannot believe Mackenzie had the nerve to come up to me acting all friendly like she hadn't just tried to destroy my life a mere 3 days ago. I'm putting together a group for the talent show, and I'm looking for super talented dancers with real star power. Here's all the info. Then she smiled really big, batted her super long lashes, and shoved a piece of paper right in my face. Me. I squinted and tried to read it, but I was having a really hard time because she dangled it in front of my eyes and started swinging it back and forth. And back and forth, and back and forth, like she was trying to hypnotize me to do her evil bidding or something. I knew right then and there she was up to no good. It took every ounce of my strength not to be completely mesmerized by the brilliant radiance of her awesome yet sickening perfection. Finally, I just snatched the paper from her and read it. "Are you cute, cool, and talented? Do you love the dance? If so, join Max Maniacs, a dance group choreographed by Mackenzie Hollister. First performance will be at the WCD Talent Show. Practice dates to be announced. M." I had a really bad feeling about that girl and her little dance group thing. Why in the heck would she want me? Especially after Chloe, Zoe, and I got that DNR ballet of the zombies dance routine at gym. Then there was that other small issue. She hates my guts. And after her very public and humiliating defeat at the art competition, I was sure she was hatching a diabolical plan to win the talent show. Unless after seeing my performance at Queasy Cheesy, Mackenzie had suddenly realized I was super talented with huge star powers. With huge star power. Maybe she wanted me on her team and so she wouldn't have to compete against me. The whole concept kind of blew my mind. That's when I started thinking that working with Mackenzie on her dance group might allow us to put aside our differences and finally become friends. It would be nice not having to put up with her verbal abuse or worry about her blabbing in my personal business. I even tried to convince myself that hanging out with Mackenzie wouldn't be so bad once I got used to her abrasive personality and her overinflated ego and her addiction to lip gloss and the fact that she has the IQ of a plastic houseplant. I even imagined myself doing the kind of stuff I'd overheard the CCP, cute, cool, and popular cliche bragging about. I even imagined myself doing the kind of stuff I'd overheard the CCP, cute, cool, and popular clique bragging about, like lounging on the beach at Mackenzie's summer house, like lounging on the beach at Mackenzie's summer home in the Hamptons. Me in a super cute swimsuit lounging on the beach at Mackenzie's summer home. Sweet, sweet. I definitely invite my friends to my summer home in the Hamptons if I had one. Finally, I made up my mind to give her a chance. Chloe, Zoe, and I were going to have a blast dancing on stage together in Mackenzie's group. Okay, sorry guys. I gotta go back a little. I definitely invite my friends to my summer home in the Hamptons if I had one. Finally, I made up my mind to give her a chance. Chloe, Zoe, and I were going to have a blast dancing on stage together in Mackenzie's group. It would be just like our old ballet of the zombies days, only better. I got a really warm and fuzzy feeling inside just thinking about it. Mackenzie pulled out her new lip gloss, Descended Dancing Diva Delight. Mackenzie pulled out her new lip gloss, Decadent Dancing Diva Delight, applied a fresh later and stared at me with her icy blue eyes. "So, Nikki, if you know any super talented dancers with star power like Chloe and Zoe, just give them this flyer, okay?" My brain was like, what the? Did she just say Chloe and Zoe? Apparently the little blonde-haired weasel wanted only Chloe and Zoe in her dance group, but not me. Hey, I'd be the first to admit that Chloe and Zoe were super talented dancers, probably two of the best in the school. But what did Mackenzie think? I was. Chopped liver? Refried beans? It felt like she had just slapped me across the face with a steel pipe or something. Sure, I muttered. I'll tell Chloe and Zoe, but just so you know, the three of us were already planning on doing something for the talent show together. Well, you're going to have to change your plans then. I really want that audition for 15 minutes of fame. And if Chloe and Zoe perform with me instead of a no-talent loser like you, it'll be a slam dunk for me to take first place. I cannot believe Mackenzie was talking smack right to my face like that. Girl, please, I said, doing one of those tighter bangs and neck roll thingies that I practice in the mirror for hours. You must be delusional or something. Or maybe your barrettes are so tight they're cutting off the oxygen to your brain. In spite of what those voices in your head were telling you, we're not your little monsters. I suggest you go find some other people to be your puppets. Mackenzie has a puppeteer. Chloe, me, Zoe. Mackenzie was so angry I thought she was going to whack me upside my head with her new Kate Spade hobo purse. I am warning you, Maxwell, she has if you so much as look at me the wrong way, I will make sure everyone sees your little queasy cheesy video. You'll get laughed right out of the school. Even your pity pals, Chloe, Zoe, and Brandon, will be too embarrassed to be seen with you. This is a talent show, Mackenzie. Did it ever occur to you to try winning by using your talent, or is that a problem because you don't have any? Mackenzie took a step toward me and put her hands on her hips. Better yet, maybe I'll just send out a text about your big secret, that you don't belong here, and your dad. Whatever, I shouted, like I really care what people think about me at the school. But I do care. I just thought of her threats made me break into a cold, clammy sweat. My throat was so tight I could hardly breathe. Honestly, Mackenzie, the talent show is not that big of a deal to me and definitely isn't worth dealing with all your drama. Well, it's a big deal to me. I deserve my 15 minutes of fame, so stay out of my way. Then Mackenzie smirked and flipped her hair in my face, like she was all that and a bag of chips. And wrinkled her perfect little nose at me. OMG, what is that horrible smell? I think the scent of your cheap perfume was starting to overpower my expensive designer fragrance. What did you spray on this morning? Macaroni and cheese? I just gritted my teeth and rolled my eyes at her. Is it a crime to eat mac and cheese for breakfast? We were out of cereal. Then Mackenzie turned and sashayed down the hall. I just hate it when she sashays. I was about to open my locker when I was practically trampled alive by a large group of CCP girls. OMG, Mackenzie, we just heard about your dance group. Everyone knows you're going to win. Max Maniacs rocks. Can I join? Wait up, Mackenzie, wait up. Then they scrambled after Mackenzie like mindless with bus wearing zombie baby ducks or something. I just stood there staring at the front of my locker like an idiot. I felt so humiliated. Hot tears flooded in my eyes, and I tried my best to blink them away. However, instead of crying, I decided to rip Mackenzie's flyer into a million little pieces. Rip, 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 rip. At this point, I want nothing whatsoever to do with Mackenzie or that stupid talent show. I will be so glad when this horrible day is over. Wednesday, November 6th. I'm so sick and tired of Mackenzie manipulating me, I could scream. I can't believe she's trying to keep me from competing in the talent show. It's like she's obsessed with winning it. Her ego is so big it has stretch marks. I think the best thing for me to do is avoid her like the plague, which is not going to be easy because my locker is right next to hers. I've decided that mentioning the video to my parents would just make the thing. I've decided that mentioning the video to my parents would just make things worse. My mom would gush about how talented and adorable Rihanna and I were and would probably email the darn thing to 500,000 people. And of course, if I told Chloe and Zoe, the first thing they'd want to do was watch it, which would be super embarrassing. And if Brandon saw it, OMG, he'd realize what a hopeless loser I am. Note to self, continue to check the video daily to monitor how many times it's been viewed. As if things weren't already a hot mess, today was the second time this week I've seen bugs inside the school building. I counted 9 huge stink bugs in the girls' locker room just while I was getting dressed after gym class. One flew in my hair and I'm totally freaked. Bug. Of course, Mackenzie and the CCPs were practically rolling on the floor laughing at me. Thank goodness Chloe and Zoe were there to help me. They are the best friends ever. As crazy as this may sound, bugs are the very reason I will never ever fit into the school, mostly because I have a deep, dark secret. I only attend this fancy prep school because my dad arranged a scholarship for me as part of his bug extermination contract. OMG, I'm so totally embarrassed about it. I haven't even told Chloe and Zoe yet. As a matter of fact, I've been at WCD for almost 3 months now, and not a single student here knows my secret. Well, no one except Mackenzie Hollister, and she found out purely by accident. One morning I was late for school, and the only way I could get there was in my dad's work van. I've always been a little worried about riding with him because his van is old, needs a tune-up, and has a lot of things wrong with it. The most serious being the ginormous road sitting on top of it. People stopped right in their tracks and stared at it in awe. Maxwell's bug extermination. Hey, it blinked. Not only is it hideous looking, but it makes you feel really odd. Anyway, when Dad dropped me off at the front door of the school, I was super happy and relieved that no one else was around to see me. But then Mackenzie just unexpectedly popped out of nowhere like some kind of evil Jack-in-the-Box. Pop! When I saw her standing there, I almost had a heart attack. She was like this really big, ugly, infected pimple that had suddenly erupted right on the tip of the nose of my life. She stared at me with a shocked look on her face and said, "What is that hideous brown thing on top of your van?" I just rolled my eyes at her because personally I thought that was the stupidest question ever. It was obvious to anyone with a brain that it was a roach and it was up there on top of our van mainly to do really important stuff that was actually none of Mackenzie's business. But the strange thing was that Mackenzie hadn't mentioned my dad again until yesterday, and she's one of the biggest gossips in the entire school. I've heard other kids gush that Mackenzie is so rich she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Not. Mackenzie's mouth was so big, she was born with a silver shovel in it. Wah! Silver spoon shovel. That girl cannot be trusted. Thursday, November 7th. Help! It's only 7:30 a.m. and my day's already a total disaster. I'm beginning to think transferring to a new school might not be such a bad idea after all, which BTW would probably make Mackenzie super happy. I got up extra early this morning to finish my geometry homework. I was just chilling out, eating a big bowl of delicious Fruity Pebbles cereal and daydreaming about Brandon. My Brandon daydream, me. But suddenly the telephone rang. I had a really bad feeling about the call even before I answered it. Then, when I realized who it was, I just about had a heart attack right there on the spot. Me. What I said, hello? What he said, hi, this is Principal Winston. I'm calling for Max with bug extermination. We've recently started having an insect problem at the school, and I'm a little concerned. What I said? What I said. Gasp. You've reached Max with bug extermination. We're currently away from the phone. Please leave a message at the tone, and we'll return your call. Beep. What he said. Yes, Principal Winston here from Westchester Country Middle School. We need your services for a serious insect problem. Could you stop by my office tomorrow during school hours? I'll give you all the details when we meet. Thanks, Principal Winston. Still in a daze, I hung up the phone, grabbed my lucky pen, and filled out a message sheet for Dad. For Dad. Urgent. X. Date. Thursday, November 7th. Time, 10:15 a.m. p.m. While you were out, from Principal Winston of WCD Middle School. Phone, you already have it. Area code, number, extension. Telephone, X. Please call. Came to see you. Will call again. Return call. Wants to see you. X. Message. Needs you to come to WCD to discuss a bug problem. Stop by his office during school hours. Friday, November 8th. Signed, Nikki. That's when the extreme awfulness of the situation finally started to sink in, and I totally lost it. No! Me screaming in horror. I was like, OMG, OMG, OMG. My principal wants my dad to come to my school to take care of the bug problem. My stomach got really achy, like I had just eaten at Queasy Cheesy or something, and I thought I was going to faint. However, rather than waiting to die of embarrassment at school, I decided to take the initiative and end it all right then by drowning myself in my delicious bowl of Fruity Pebbles. I know it sounds like an insane idea, but I'd already tried it on Miss Penelope, my sister's hand puppet, and it had actually worked, kind of. Me, desperately trying to drown my sorrows in my bowl of cereal. Splat, glug glug, gurgle, gurgle. However, in spite of my efforts, I ended up still very much alive. I felt so frustrated with my situation, I wanted to scream again. Mostly because I had a half cup of soggy Fruity Pebbles. Thingy stuck up my nose. OMG, I must have sneezed Fruity Pebbles for like 10 minutes straight. They were plastered all over the walls and ceiling like rainbow-colored boogers or something. I can't believe Principal Woodson is expecting my dad to show up at his office tomorrow for a bug extermination appointment. I'll transfer schools before I let my dad humiliate me by dancing around in his red jumpsuit, which BTW has my last name plastered across the back, zapping bugs in front of the entire student body. Everyone will think he forgot to take his meds or something. I've officially designated my school as a no dad zone. No way am I telling him about that phone message. It just ain't gonna happen. After Dad misses that appointment, hopefully Principal Winston will just hire someone else to take care of the school's bugs. I already have the scholarship. So what is Winston going to do? Suddenly just kick me out in the middle of the semester? Not. I think I'm going to wear my lucky socks tomorrow. Hey, I'm going to need all the help I can get. Friday, November 8th. All day I've been a nervous wreck. I felt super guilty about not giving my dad that telephone message. But more than anything, I was absolutely terrified I was going to see Principal Winston in the halls. I don't have anything against him personally. He's a little weird, yes, but so are most principals and teachers. I mean, who wouldn't be totally insane after 10 or 15 years at a middle school? Just hanging around this place as a student for a couple of years can be psychologically damaging. Anyway, I was afraid Winston was going to mention something to me about my dad's appointment to exterminate bugs at the school. That's when I decided it was super important for me to wear a very clever and cunning disguise so Winston wouldn't recognize me. But unfortunately, I didn't have much to work with. Just my not from the mall hoodie with lint balls on it, a little imagination, and a lot of desperation. Me in a very clever and cunning disguise. Not only was it brilliantly simple, but comfortable and free. Luckily, my disguise worked just as I'd planned. When Principal Winston saw me after French class, he couldn't tell I was actually me, and he never mentioned my dad needing an exterminator. Thank goodness. He just looked a little freaked out, probably because I was staring at him to test my disguise. Me staring. What the... Then Principal Winston did the strangest thing. He cleared his throat really loudly and told me to skip my next class and go straight to the office to get a 4-hour pass to visit the guidance counselor. At first I thought he was making a little joke or something, but then I realized he actually believed I was a seriously mentally ill weirdo. Now, how crazy is that? However, the good news was that I was getting out of 4 hours of class. Squee! Of course, I fixed my hoodie before I went to the guidance counselor's office. I didn't want her to mistake me for a seriously mentally ill weirdo, too. We talked about how my classes were coming along and reviewed my new class schedule for the next semester. Then after lunch, he made me watch this super boring video series about career planning. The 4 hours went by pretty quickly, and before I knew it, she handed me a pass to go back to class. I really wanted to find Chloe and Zoe to tell them the exciting news about Principal Winston sending me to the guidance counselor. But the school day was pretty much over, and it was time to go home. Squee! The very best part was that Principal Winston never mentioned my dad, and my dad never showed up for that appointment. My flawless strategic planning, along with my very clever disguise, saved the day. Am I not brilliant? Saturday, November 9th. Today, my mom came up with the stupid idea that we need to have family sharing time. She patiently explained to us that spending pre-planned quality time together as a family would encourage love, mutual respect, and bonding. I patiently explained to her that she should stop watching Dr. Phil. Since we were stuck doing family sharing time, I suggested we try one of those cool extreme sports they show on MTV. You know, the kind where you get to wear a helmet with cute designs on it, like hearts or rainbows, so you'll look really cute when you break a leg or fracture your skull. I think it would be fun, exciting, and educational if our family went bungee jumping together. My family goes bungee jumping. Wait, Dad, before you jump, you gotta tie your cord to that tree. Yahoo! Okay, so maybe a family bungee jumping trip is not such a good idea. As expected, my parents complained that extreme sports were way too dangerous. But that was a lame excuse because family sharing time can be 10 minutes more deadly than all the extreme sports combined. Like the activity they planned for today. My parents excitedly announced at breakfast that we were going canoeing. I almost choked on my waffle. It didn't have anything to do with the fact that we were going canoeing. I just eat really fast and tend to almost choke on my food on a regular basis. Anyway, my dad purchased an old beat-up canoe at a garage sale for $3. He had his heart set on trying it out before winter sets in and all the lakes freeze over. I was like, $3, Dad, are you crazy? You spend more than that on your Egg McMuffin meal. But I just said that inside my head so no one else heard it but me. What idiot would risk taking his/her family out in deep water in a garage sale canoe that only cost $3? Okay, let me rephrase the question. What idiot other than my dad? I love him and all, but sometimes I really worry about that guy. Even a tiny, cheap plastic pink canoe for Rihanna's doll costs more than $3. I'm just saying. Dad's canoe, $3. Doll's canoe, $17. The really scary part was that Dad knew nothing whatsoever about canoes, and since his was from a garage sale, it didn't come with a manual, instruction book, warranty, or anything. When I mentioned my concerns, Dad just rolled his eyes at me and said, "Hey, I don't need to be a rocket doctor to locate the on/off switch." Anyway, Mom made PB&J sandwiches. Dad packed the car and we headed out to this huge bay area that's really popular with boaters. As I expected, the event quickly turned into a major disaster, mainly because Dad didn't figure out that a canoe required paddles until after we got out on the water. And then he got an attitude about the whole thing because his canoe didn't come with any paddles or an on/off switch. Duh. Which was probably why it only cost $3. But I didn't bother to remind Dad of all that stuff because he was kind of in a really bad mood. So there we were, just floating around out on the bay for what seemed like forever. Thank goodness it was an unseasonably warm day, or we could have gotten hypothermia or something. Suddenly, Dad's face lit up, and I knew he was getting another one of his wacky ideas. He grabbed this large stick that was floating in the water. Then he took off his shirt, tied it to the stick, and let it flutter in the wind. I guessed that he was trying to convert our paddleless canoe into a sailboat or something. But like most of his ideas, it didn't quite work the way I expected. Whenever the wind blew, the canoe would just spin around in circles really fast, like some kind of demonic amusement park ride. Of course, we were all a bit grumpy about our situation. But thanks to Dad, now we were grumpy, dizzy, and seasick. And Mom was starting to get on my last nerve. Being the internal optimist, she tried to cheer us up by making us sing, "Row, row, row your boat." That's when I suddenly lost and screamed, "Mom, has your reality check bounced? Can't you see we don't have any paddles? How are we supposed to row, row, row the boat?" But I just had that inside my head, so no one else heard it but me. And Rihanna would not shut up. I had to restrain myself from trying to strangle her. She was whining nonstop about the stupidest things. "Row, row, row your boat." Me. "Hey, that fishy is staring at me. Daddy, make it stop. Bad fishy." Okay, I love my family. And everything. But sometimes I think they're a few clown short of a circus. Lucky for us, someone spotted Dad's homemade sail and assumed he was signaling for help. Even though our family sharing time activity got off to a really bad start, I have to admit it ended up being as exciting as any extreme sport. Why? Getting rescued by that Coast Guard helicopter was thrilling, and being transported back to our car in that sleek, super fast police speedboat was a total rush. When we finally got home, I was surprised to hear a phone message from Chloe and Zoe. Hey Nikki, what's up? It's Chloe and Zoe here. We're calling to see if you're going to be available today or tomorrow to work on our act for the talent show. If so, give us a call. We can't wait to get started. I was like, just great. I really wanted to be in the talent show with them, but Mackenzie was going to make my life totally miserable if I did. Sooner or later, I was going to have to tell my BFFs I wouldn't be performing with them. But I was so exhausted from our canoe trip, I just wanted to take a hot shower and crawl into my comfy bed. I decided to tell them later. I wonder if Dad has figured out yet that canoes don't have on/off switches. Sunday, November 10th. Mom and I are getting ready to go shopping to buy me some new clothes. I can hardly believe it. I guess I owe Brianna a big thank you since she's pretty much the person responsible for it. It all started when Mom gave Brianna a new paint set and easel. She said it would help Brianna develop her artistic abilities. So Brianna started painting, and Mom's been plastering her artwork all over the house. The thing that really freaked me out, though, was this large portrait she drew of me. I couldn't believe Mom actually taped it up on our refrigerator like that. What if a total stranger just randomly wandered into our house and saw Brianna's drawing up there? Hey, it could have happened, but mostly that portrait was very damaging to my self-esteem. Nikki. Bye, Brianna. I realize I'm not super cute like the girls in the CCP clique at my Hey, it could happen, but mostly that a portrait was very damaging to my self-esteem. Nikki. Bye, Brianna. I realize I'm not super cute like the girls in the CCP clique at my school, but please, does my face really look like it got run over by a bus? And as if all that wasn't bad enough, Brianna is a very messy artist. She splatters paint everywhere. I almost died when she actually got paint on my favorite shirt. OMG, I had a hissy fit right there on the spot. Look, Mom, Brianna totally ruined my shirt. Paint. Okay, I'll admit it. That spot of paint on my shirt was kind of small, but the last time I watched Judge Judy on television, she specifically stated parents are responsible for the damage their child does to the property of other people. And that's the law, you. $% and symbol idiot or something like that. Everyone knows Judge Judy is a very fair and impartial judge. She's also super grumpy and possibly a little senile. Of course, my mom took Brianna's side like she always does. She said, Nikki, I'm sure it was an accident. I will replace anything she gets paint on, okay? I just looked at my mom and rolled my eyes. Yeah, right. And what if Brianna gets paint on all my clothes? Then they're going to buy me a whole new wardrobe, but I decided that's on my head, so no one else heard it but me. Suddenly I had the most brilliant idea. That's when I decided to inspire Brianna's creativeness by finding stuff for her to paint. I gave her my shirt to get started on. Then I ran upstairs to my room and tossed most of my clothes into a big laundry basket. Here's more stuff to paint my little pint-sized Picasso. It felt really good helping my little sister develop her artistic skills. Mom was really shocked when she discovered that Brianna had painted almost all my clothes. Of course, I didn't tell her the part about it all being my idea. Mom tried her best to weasel out of her promise to replace the clothes that Brianna got paint on, but I reminded her that as an impressionable young child, I was learning that the importance of honesty, integrity, and keeping one's word from the example being set up by my parents, which is the drivel I've picked up from all those TV talk shows. Anyway, Mom felt so guilty she finally agreed to honor her promise. Now I get to shop till I drop. Squee! BTW, I finally returned the call to both Chloe and Zoe. I let them know that even though we weren't able to get together to practice over the weekend, we could meet to discuss our plans tomorrow in the library, which means I have to make a final decision tomorrow. What am I going to do? I'm so confused. I feel like my brain is going to explode. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was crazy. It was fun. It was 2:25. That was fun. I liked it a lot. I remember, I think my Dork Diaries videos did somewhat good. Can't remember. But that was fun. I barely moved. I mean, I did, like, my feet and stuff, but, a little clarification on how many parts there'll be when they'll come out and like the whole rundown. There are going to be 3 parts, like book 1 and 2. Probably April 1st, part 1, April 2nd, part 2, and April 3rd, part 3. Oh wait, no, that can't be right. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. No, actually, I think that, sorry about that. I believe that March 30th will be the first part 1, March 31st the second one, and April 1st part 3, I believe, actually. Sorry about that. Gotta clarify. And, so yeah. There's that, and parts-wise, 3 parts. This book's 311 pages. 311 is a prime number, meaning it can only be divided by either 1 or 311. I would not want to read the whole book in one sitting. I probably could. Like, I attempted to for 1 week at book 2, but really did it in 2 parts, still in one sitting, though. So, I just, in case it doesn't save, or I kind of want to go, use the bathroom, get some water, maybe watch some YouTube or something, play some games, cross the road or something. But see, since 311, nothing goes into it besides, that. But luckily, it's each book is 1 month, usually the course of it. So book 1 was September, 30 days. Book 2 was October, 31 days. And book 3 is November, which is 30 days. See where I'm going with this? So November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th, 9th, and 10th. That is in part 1, what we just read. In part 2, November 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, and 20th will be in part 2. And then, in part 3, November 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th will be in part 3. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I actually got to get a bookmark. I'm going to use my Wisconsin Santa that I got in Wisconsin on one of my trips with my parents. Out of COVID, of course. So it's Mark Our Place. We are on page 99, Monday, November 11th. So yeah, we just read 98 pages in like 43, 42, maybe 44 minutes. I don't know. But anyway, that was it. So there it is. I'll probably record part 2 either later today or tomorrow. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to enjoy reading Dork, Diaries, Tales from a Not So Talented Pop Star, part 1 of 3, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell for more amazing content to come. And I'll see you wonderful people. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm like 99%, probably more, maybe less. Not exactly sure. See you guys tomorrow. Probably. Subscribe, like, post notifications on. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace, guys.